Good morning and welcome to the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation's virtual summer camp. Today we are here on the beautiful Powell River in Hancock County. My name is Jan Compton and we're going to learn about surface water. As we think about surface water, it includes our rivers, lakes, and streams. These are very important to us because they are part of our ecosystem and also very important to humans. Our rivers, lakes, and streams have many purposes or uses, such as recreation, drinking water sources, cooling water for industry that support jobs in our area, and also the ecosystem. Many sources that are very important to us. So today we're going to talk a little bit about something you probably already know, the water cycle or the hydrologic cycle. Now this includes evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and ultimately precipitation. It's a continuous cycle as water moves from Earth out into the atmosphere and then back to our Earth. That's why it's very important our water quality is, because the water we're seeing today could be our drinking water of tomorrow. So you may ask, who is actually evaluating this water? Who is out there and how in the world do we accomplish the evaluation of this water? So today we're going to learn more about that by having an inside, or I guess you could say an outside look at water sampling with our Division of Water Resources. In fact, you may be interested as a career for yourself later. If you like looking at the environment, being out in nature, and environmental protection, this may be the career path you would like to go on. So hopefully you're ready to get wet. Let's get started.
Hi everybody, my name is Beverly Brown and I work for the Tennessee Division of Water Resources. I'm a biologist in our Johnson City field office, and what we're going to show you today is how we assess water quality from here on the beautiful Powell River, how we go about assessing water quality by looking at the insects that live here in our stream. One of the reasons why we look at our insects is because the insects can tell us a lot about the water quality of our streams. They live here all the time, and just like many other animals, the insects like certain conditions. So if you have healthy conditions in your stream or river, you're going to have healthy insects that live here. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Out there you can see Franklin out looking in our river to see where we might want to sample. He's looking at all that, and we'll go into that a little bit later. We'll show you how we actually collect our samples. But we're going to collect two different kinds of insect samples today. One is where we do two different riffle kicks using our nets, and we collect insects in these shallow areas that you can see here on the film. The other method is called a very quick rapid bioassessment method, and we'll be collecting those and actually showing you those insects in our pans here in just a little bit. But what I'd like to do is talk about some of the equipment that we use to collect our insects. We've got a lot of that laid out here in front of us. It's pretty simple to collect the insects. We have some nets over here that we use. This is what we call our kick net. And you'll see in just a few minutes how we use this. But we put this down in the creek, and someone gets upstream and kicks the bottom of the string, and the insects float into our net. And so that's a real simple, easy way to collect aquatic insects. This other net here is our triangular dip net. We'll use this in our biorecon collection, and we sample 4 different habitats, use this net to collect, and then we'll look at our insects, collect those and take them back to the lab and ID those under the microscope. Of course, before we get in the creek, we have to wear something unless we want to get wet. But we use waders here. So you can see we use chest waders typically. Pull these on. We put our boots on to protect our feet. And so we stay nice and protected. We're not wet. Also protects us from fighting insects and that kind of thing, so that helps us. We use buckets as well. This is a sieve bucket. You can see it's got a screen here on the bottom. And that helps us wash our insects down into the bucket, and we collect them that way. And just a regular bucket here. And you'll see how we use all these here in just a few minutes. Later, after we've collected our biorecon, we put our insects in these white pans. And we collect our insects out of these pans. And we also use forceps here that we wear. And we collect those and take those back to the lab for identification. Something else we also do, it's very important for us to know things like oxygen levels, temperature of our water, conductivity, pH. This is a Hydrolab instrument that we use. And what we do is we place it in the water, and it gives us instantaneous readings of what our dissolved oxygen levels are, our pH, conductivity, and temperature. And those are all important things for us to know when we come out and assess a stream. We also collect chemical samples when we are looking at the health of the stream. We use different bottles, as you can see right here, but we'll collect, a lot of times it's nutrients, bacteriological samples, see how much bacteria is in our water, metals, nutrients, that kind of thing, because that's very important for us to know what's the chemical composition of our stream. So we use those, send them off to the lab, and we'll get those back. In about a month, we'll get a lot of that data back. Also, while we're at our stream, we bring a field computer with us. It's called a little tough book. And we record important information on our tough book about our site. We have a stream survey and a habitat survey here on this computer. And we'll fill that out at each station where we collect our insects. And that helps us also know what kind of habitat is available for our insects and how healthy the riparian zone is of the stream. So that's information that we keep and we use to help us understand the health of our stream. So we use this all on our computer, right here in the field. So that's kind of an overview of what we do when we're out here collecting insects. So we're going to show you how we go about doing that. Hi, this is Beverly. We're back again. We're getting ready to collect a semi-quantitative single habitat insect sample that we will collect and ship off to the lab for identification. And what we do here is we do 2 riffle kicks, and Franklin here with the hat and Brian here holding the net are going to demonstrate for you how we collect our riffle kick samples. So anytime you guys are ready, you can go right ahead. So what Brian is going to do is he's going to put the net in the water. Franklin's going to weigh it down with a couple rocks. And then Franklin will disturb the bottom of the river. He'll disturb the substrate there. That's where all the insects live. As you can see, he uses his feet to disturb the bottom there. And the insects come dislodged from the bottom or off the rocks, and they float into our net. And we try to do a 2 square meters, guys?
Yes.
2 square meter area. And Franklin will continue to kick and disturb the rocks on the bottom. And then when he gets done, we'll wash this all down into a bucket. So we're going to do this twice. And it's really,
coming up.
yeah, it's really fun to see what you collect. When we pull that net up, we'll be able to show you some of the neat insects and crawdads and so forth that we usually find in our streams. It is amazing what you will find. All right, he's getting ready to pull up the net here.
Call it the squish.
Yeah. Franklin's going to pull up the net, and we're going to see what we found.
Hydrologic for sure.
I blame you. Oh, yeah, you got some stuff on the corner here. Awesome. It's gonna be hard to see in the video.
So what the net looks like after we kick it out there, before the bugs have been all separated out of it. There's a lot more in there than it looks.
But they're hard to see, but there's quite a few insects in there. Let's open it.
Okay. And Franklin will take this bucket. Pre-sieved wash water.
Yeah. Now Franklin's going to wash down our net. That way we take all the insects that are on that net, wash it down into our sieve bucket, and we'll take all these back with us, and this sample will be shipped to the lab for identification. You can actually see some of the insects do stick to the net a little bit, but we'll get those off.
Stonefly.
Yeah, see here's some of the insects. And this is a Hydrologic right here. An interesting little critter, and here's a little mayfly right here.
The stonefly.
Stonefly.
Remember Perlidae. Here we have a crawdad, Cambaridae. This is an Orchestes genus. This is a small male. You can tell they have these little long arm claspers. The females don't have those. They're hard to see, I'm sure. But if you flip them over in the belly and they have these little, almost like an extra set of legs on the bottom, that means he's a male.